while.
It has been a while. I have missed you.
I have missed you too. We've both been sick and trying to get on the mends, but
oh yes,
the universe doesn't want to let us. But we're okay. We're here.
We are here. Yes.
It's whatever the lingering thing is that's new, and being sick. I feel like it's just a new version of being sick. Like, I guess that's what it is.
It's just a new version. It's sick 2.0.
I know. It's no more like no more 2 days. It's like 4, 6, 8 days.
Or 5 weeks. Or 5 weeks.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you ever go to the doctor?
Well, I didn't, but my daughter came home, who is a doctor, and she's like, it's just a virus. So,
well, that's good. Free medical advice from a certified professional.
That's right. Good morning, Anne.
Thank you.
Carrie's been down a little bit more recently than I have. So
yes, I feel like it's just like my nose is stuffy and my ears pop. I'm just going to get used to it. Well, we'll see. It'll get better. I just want my energy back, really.
Yeah. My energy is coming back. Mine is just this lingering little congestion cough that's happening. So it's icky.
Did you get a haircut? Because your hair looks adorable.
I didn't. So I curled it yesterday because we had our Veterans Day assembly. And I was just exhausted last night. Like I said, I'm getting my energy back. I was just exhausted, so I didn't work out. And so you're getting day 2 curls.
Well, it's very floofy.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm excited to be back. I've missed us.
I have missed us too. I know.
And we have a friend with us today.
I am also very excited about our friend. So let's just jump in and introduce our friend.
There we go.
So our guest today is a librarian from Texas with over 20 years of experience in education. So prior to being a librarian, she was a special education teacher, which she has in common with Carrie, and an instructional technology specialist. In her spare time, she's a lifeguard and a water aerobics enthusiast, leads a Girl Scout group, and something that she and I have in common, designing t-shirts for any occasion. On her blog, Be in the Bookends, she shares amazing ideas for library and classroom. I am so excited to doodle and chat and learn more about Andrea Keller today.
Yay!
Good morning, sunshines. Oh my goodness, that was such a nice intro. I can't wait to watch that again. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
We're so excited you're here.
I am so excited too. Like Carrie, I don't like Mandi. I'm excited that I met you today, but I'm like, Carrie, other than like emails and like virtual stuff, like this is like most face-to-face I think I've ever had.
This is actually like as close as we can get to personal conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah, the internet we were sharing before the show went live with Mandi. The internet has this weird way of bringing Andrea and I back together always. It's just little things. Like we've been connected for I want to say like 10 years. I don't even know.
I think it's been at least 10 years.
And so we just cross paths on the internet, never in person. We never talked like this ever before, but we know about each other's existence and we know the things that each other are doing, but we've never really beyond that moment. No, but I was scrolling through some TikToks, and I even sent some of yours to Mandi. So I'm like, we have to do some of these, like this one that Andrea does where she puts the GIF on top of the thing.
Dude.
We have to do it. It's instant stuff.
It is. It is so fantastic. And that's the easiest thing because like those tend to get more views than me. It's okay. I'm okay with that. But I'm like, if you can find those funny things, because I want to have that viral video. So I'm like, if they don't want to watch me, they'll watch a GIF. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. So
the only problem is you spend hours scrolling through GIFs trying to find one that matches the idea in your head, and then you get another one. It's like a rabbit hole.
It is.
It's so fun when you figure it out, the puzzle.
And have y'all made TikToks before?
Yes.
Okay.
We have a TikTok.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
They're like 30 seconds long, which really takes like 3 hours.
Yes.
Like there's nothing, even the GIF ones, they take forever. And it's funny, when I first started doing TikToks, I really got on because I'm on social media. I love social media. I got on TikTok though, because my kids were on it, like I was at middle school. And they were always in this back corner making TikToks. And I'm like, guys, I need you to be where I can see you, right? Because middle school, they're crazy. And finally, I went over there one day and started making my own TikToks. It's because the lighting is so great. I was like, that's why y'all are over here. You're not trying to hide. The lighting is just perfect. So that's where a lot of my TikToks were made in middle school. And one time, one of the kids said, Miss Keller, I found your TikTok. I said, I'm so sorry. Because I have a very niche group, like in middle school. We are not on the same FYP. He goes, shouldn't you be working? And I said, how's your homework? He was like, oh, okay.
Never mind. I know my middle schoolers are mortified if they hear that, like, I even look at TikTok. Like, are you kidding me? You look at it? I'm like, the world's not going to end and we're not going to burn in a fiery disaster just because I'm an adult and I'm looking at TikTok.
It brings me so much joy. I just love it. Now, of course, there's terrible stuff on there, just like on any platform. Yeah. There's terrible stuff, but my algorithm is perfect. So it's fantastic.
I also like my algorithm, and kids will say, did you see this on TikTok? And I'm like, our FYP or our For You pages are not the same.
I know. I asked my high schoolers
the same things. I promise you.
Yeah, that's what the high schooler told me too. I was like, did you see this one? He goes, Miss. He's like, that's not funny, and that's not on my F. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I enjoyed it. It brought me joy. Thanks.
That's right. That's why there's an algorithm.
Exactly.
So we can have our own things.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. Well, we are here to talk all about you today, Andrea, and for you to know, and anybody joining us who has never been part of Doodle and Chat, we have this bowl that we call the bowl that knows. And we filled it up with some very special questions that are written just for you, as well as a few that are random ones that none of us know about. And we call it the bowl that knows because it always seems to give us just the right question for the person that we're talking to. So we're going to turn our cameras on so that we can doodle and then pull some questions from the bowl so that we can chat all about you today.
Awesome. I'm so excited.
Me too. I love everything that we do, but guests are by far my favorite time.
100%. If Mandi and I could find a way to get paid full time to do this every week, we would.
I haven't watched your stuff. Like, y'all are so talented. And my if you go to my Twitter and my Be in the Bookends, both my blogs that's all Carrie's artwork. Carrie designed my logo on my Twitter account, and also, like I said, that both my blogs that I keep up with the most. That's all of hers. That's all her.
A little sprinkling of me with Andrea every day.
I love it.
I love that.
So,
all right, I'm going to just Andrea my page for a second.
Like, y'all's doodles are. I'm a lister. I'm a doodle lister. Is what?
Oh, that will be fun to see.
Like when I do visual note taking, like the that's how mine are, like lists in different colors.
I love it.
I love it. I love it.
I love that idea. That's a great idea. I had a speech pathologist that I worked with, and I was, just finding my mojo of bringing sketchnoting into the classroom, and I proudly showed her one that we had done, and it was scattered with information, and she just looked at it in disgust, and she's like, "Oh, how could anybody look at that and understand?" And all this little meek me, because she was a well-seasoned
oh my gosh
person, and I don't think she meant badly about it, but the meek me was like, "But they understand it, and we get it." But we did another one in a list format, and it's just really about, how your brain works, I think.
Exactly. And my brain is a 1,000% lister.
So surprisingly, mine depends on the task. So my to-do lists have to be that. They have to be a list. I have to have a checkbox. I actually ordered this little thing off of Amazon. It's a sticky note holder, and you put this on top, and you can draw boxes and lines or circles and lines to make a check.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
If I can find it, we can drop it in the show notes today.
And I'll tell you about an app that I use too.
So for to-do lists, and my to-do lists have to be written.
Yes.
For some reason, I can't have an app to do my to-do list because but for sketchnoting, like this is perfect for how my brain works. So it's weird that we have different ways that we process things, different tasks.
Yeah, that's funny.
I am 1,000% I have to list things with a pen and pencil. So I carry an Erin Condren. Oh, I think it's downstairs.
Yep.
But I do now, because I do so many things. I like water aerobics, lifeguarding, all the things. I have 5 jobs. So I have to, like what y'all are saying, is like, you have to keep, we're busy people, but we fill every little piece. So I don't pay for many apps, but I do pay for this one, and it's called Family Wall. And it is amazing. I can share the calendar with other people. Not that they look at it, but they can't say that they didn't, right? But I can make like my grocery list. Well, I can make my grocery list in there, but I can also make menus in there. And then I can say, oh, this menu, I want to fix this meal. And so I can say add to grocery list, and it automatically adds to my grocery list.
Nice.
And it's my calendar. It goes with my Outlook, Google, and everything. It is my, just so you know, I am a lister, but that one thing is absolutely amazing because I do too much. Not that that's a bad thing, just that's how my brain is.
Yes, I hear you. I hear you. All right, let's see where the bowl's going to have us start today. Being a Girl Scout troop leader is a big part of who you are. One of the things troop leaders often have to do is plan activities. If your troop had to plan a scavenger hunt about you, where would it take place? What would the theme be? And what are 3 things that we would have to look for on our list?
Oh my gosh. So where would it be? That's
Yeah.
the first one, right? Oh, geez. That's so hard because, like, so since COVID, sorry, I also talk a lot. I'm sorry. But since COVID,
You're in the right place.
So since COVID, before COVID, we were meeting every other month at a certain location because we had a space. But then COVID happened, and so we lost our space, and so we moved online, which was fine. We made it work. But now since COVID is over, we're still trying to find that space where we can meet and work. So, so where would it be? I would have to say then just go broad at a camp, because that'd be a fun scavenger hunt at a Girl Scout camp.
Yes.
So go for Girl Scout camp. And we actually just got back a couple weeks ago. So I'll go there. And then it had, what was 3 things? What was the next question? It was a long question.
What would its theme be?
Oh, its theme would be,
because it's about you.
I know. So its theme would probably be bees.
Oh, yes.
Probably be bees. Probably be bees.
I love it.
And the third question
is, what are 3 things that we would have to look for on our scavenger list?
Okay. Words that begin with B.
Nice.
Because there's 4 rules that I have that are no B's. So they'd have to find words that B's. An actual bee, because you got to have that in a bee scavenger hunt, right?
Yes.
And then, third thing. Maybe a craft with a bee.
I love it.
So an actual bee and a craft with a bee. That one's hard. Also, I'm loving these doodles so much. These are so cool. I'm just going to stare at the screen the whole time. We're actually meeting today to make ornaments and Christmas cards. They're like,
fun.
It's only November. I know, but we had to decorate a tree, so I'll get it done. And I actually have 2 troops. I started a troop 8 years ago. It's actually, so most Girl Scout troops, once the kids graduate, they're not like Boy Scouts. They don't necessarily re-go around. But my first troop I started, they're now 7th and 8th graders. Well, 8th and 9th graders. No, 7th and 8th graders. And we start when they're in kindergarten and 1st grade. And it's actually the 3rd generation of that troop. the grandmother had her daughter in 1810, and then the grandmother had her granddaughter in 1810. And then when that troop graduated, I was really close with them because I was a nanny for one of them, and actually one of the moms was my co-leader for a little while. They were going to have to disband the troop. It was going to be the last year of 1810, and I said, you know what? I said we had been trying to have kids for a little while, for a while, and it just wasn't working. It was okay, and I said, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to grow some girls, and so that's how we started third generation of 1810. So now they're my girls. They're awesome. And now I have 2 troops, and my other troop is they are 9th and 10th graders, and they actually went to New York last year. So support those Girl Scouts. They do really, really cool things. But I took them over right before COVID, I believe, happened. So we got 2. That troop is pretty small. There's only 4 girls in it, and then 1810 I think has 9. But we run deep. The parents are involved. It's amazing. It is amazing. So yeah, it's pretty cool to watch them grow. And now they're siblings. I wasn't ever going to do kindergarten again. Not that I don't love kindergartners. I wasn't going to do daisies again. But now we have siblings, so I'm doing daisies again. So I got kindergarten, 1st grade, all the way through 10th grade.
I love it.
I do too.
They're good girls. They're pretty amazing. They're pretty amazing.
So I'm going to ask if you made your Girl Scout shirt that you're wearing today.
Actually, I did not make this one. You didn't make that one.
Okay.
Because when we went to New York, the head office is in New York. And so this is one of the things you could buy. You could make your own sweatshirt. Was it way overpriced? Absolutely. Was it worth every penny? Absolutely.
Yep.
So it's my New York Girl Scout shirt. So
I love it.
Love it. That's a question I get a lot. People are like, oh, did you make your shirt? I'm like, well, I actually like to support small businesses. And so while I could always make that shirt,
yep,
I like to support other people who also make shirts.
Yep. And sometimes we're all busy. It's okay for other people to have great ideas and we pay them.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that too.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Me too.
Well, what is it you always remind me of, Mandi? Either we pay in time or we pay in money, right?
Time or money. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes too, I'm like, I could absolutely make that for probably more, because then you have to buy all the different materials.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I love crafting, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna be easier just to put. Thank you, Etsy.
Yes, I am that way too, because I have just always made everything, and I'm really, really busy right now. I have a lot of activities that take me away from home of an evening, where I did used to spend my time making things.
Right.
So I do find joy in making, though. So people always ask me, so what are your hobbies? I like to make things. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, just things. I like to just make things.
Yep. I just finished my Christmas ornaments this year. So my first year teaching, little bitty small town, super, super small. And at Christmas that year, there was some really not nice people on my staff. And not everybody got things in their boxes. And that really bothered me. That hurt my heart. So I was like, well, I love crafting. So I started making Christmas ornaments for everybody on staff. So I make about 100 Christmas ornaments a year. Do you want to see what I've made for this year?
Yes.
It's be a surprise. So they're almost done. I just have to add the so I've been collecting these. Can you see the guy?
Stop it.
So I love it.
So I've hand painted 100 of those. So all of it different.
That is so fun. I have one similar to that, only it's a snowman.
Oh, so I saw the snowman, and I thought about the snowman. I was going to see if I had, and a couple of years ago, if you have old keys, I love upcycling, right?
Yeah.
So old keys, you can make them into Santa Clauses. Oh, I haven't painted one. Well, here's a start of painting one. This was a couple of years ago. So it's missing its face because I didn't finish this one. But
I can see it. Geez. Oh, how cool!
So cute.
So I'm on year 20. too of that. But now and you know, a teacher asked me, she goes, why do you do that? I said, because it brings me joy. She goes, well, what if they just throw them in the trash? Well, that's up to them. Like, my joy was creating, make sure everybody else had something in the box. If it doesn't bring you joy, that's okay. Not going to hurt my feelings. Not upset about it.
I love it.
And so now those that are watching, my friends, I'm sorry that you've now seen my ornament. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Don't make the surprise not worthwhile for others. Don't spoil the surprise.
I love it. I love posting my ornament. When I do post, when I pass them out, I'll post on Facebook, and people will be like, I have yours for like 4 years. We worked together. So that's the thing too, is now I'm in a new school, so I can repeat an ornament, which is nice. Because sometimes when you're in school for like 6 or 7 years, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this year. Because it has to be affordable as well.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
100 plus ornaments. So
I love it. All right. You ready, Mandi?
I'm ready.
Okay. I love my little flagpole.
I also
it's so cute.
I saw that. I'm like, that's adorable. I just went with the scavenger hunt ticket. So
Oh, I love that idea.
Oh, that's so smart. I'm like, how can I do that? And it's to-do list.
It is a to-do list because it's you. Because you love them. Lifeguard, wife to an executive chef, Girl Scout troop leader, and daughter to a Santa Claus. What is a favorite memory from these parts of your lives? Either one or as many as you want to share.
Ooh. Okay, so you said lifeguard, being married, or parents?
Your parents and the Girl Scout thing, which you already went over. You did that one too.
Thing. So I am going to start with my parents.
Yes.
Because my dad is Santa Claus.
He is.
And it's funny because he is an introvert, 1000%. But when he doesn't dress like regular Santa Claus. He is not puts on that suit. He is a Texas Santa.
Ah.
And so he is absolutely amazing. I grew up in a very small town. So I went home last weekend to visit the playground, and everybody knows everybody. I had 300 people in my class when I graduated. So super small town, but so funny. So my dad is a big guy. He's a big teddy bear guy, has the beard, has white hair. Like, he looks like Santa. And so around this time, he'll start wearing plaid because that's what he does, because it's also cold. And people will come up to him, like little kids, are you Santa? Like, he'll be at a restaurant. So my dad carries candy canes, little mini candy canes in his pocket, and will hand out candy canes. And so for a few years, they would actually come down to Dallas, which is some of my favorite things. And we would just walk the stockyards. The Fort Worth stockyards about 45 minutes away from here. And it's where they still have the cattle drive that goes through like twice a day. And so my dad and my mom will dress up like Mrs. Claus, and my dad will dress up like Santa Claus, and they'll just walk. Now there's also vendors there that are also in costume. So he's always very aware, because he does not want to take away money from any of them, but he just walks down to bring the joy to people. Like, that's what his thing is. Like, he is just to bring the joy. And I love it. So I'll take lots of pictures, which of course is my favorite thing to do. But we never walk, like I said, near the actual Santa Claus that's there, because that's their job. But it's so much fun because it's just a reminder that you just always need to bring joy. You need to, if that means you need to put on a costume, like I said, because he's a huge introvert. But when he puts on that Texas Santa, he's like, I'm Santa. This is what we're going to do. We're going to just walk down and make sure people believe in the season, in happiness. So And actually, there's an artist in Canyon that's pretty well known, Jack Sorensen. And if you go look up Jack Sorensen Santa Clauses, you will find my dad is on some puzzles, and he's on some Christmas cards. So the likeness of my dad is used all the time. So I'm pretty lucky that my parents have taught me the importance of knowing everybody has a story, knowing that no matter what kind of walk they might be on, that they need to have joy in their life and grit. Because let me tell you, my parents have got some grit. So I love them. I love them. I love my parents so much. I'm lucky that way because I know that not everybody has those types of relationships with their parents. So I understand how absolutely lucky I am.
Yeah.
So, and then executive chef. So I am married to a classically trained executive chef. I met him while I was at a teacher's conference, 12 hours away from my house. And that's probably my favorite memory is we were hanging out, and that's how we met. And we met in El Paso, like I said, 12 hours away from where I lived. And as the elevator doors were closing, as I was going upstairs, he was like, "What room number are you in?" And so as I went upstairs, he called upstairs and said, "Hey, do you want to go out tonight?" So I went downstairs, and that was that.
Oh, I love that story.
Never, ever a dull moment. And then I had to get on a bus the next day and go home. And so he's like, and we called, I was working at Girl Scout camp at that time because I worked at Girl Scout camp for years and years. And so El Paso is different time than in Amarillo. And so I'd call him at like 3:00 in the morning because I also shouldn't be using the camp phone. sorry, Girl Scout camp. I was using your camp phone at 3:00 in the morning. And it was also before the times of like cell phone usage, or like we had cell phones. God, I feel so old. We had cell phones, but you couldn't like call unless you paid the extra money. So I had like little calling cards that I used so I could use the camp phone at 3:00 in the morning. I'm so old.
Well, we all remember those phones. You're in good company here.
Well, it's funny because I go home and it's still a relatively small town. And so when I was growing up, I lived out in the country. And if I wanted to call my neighbors, I only had to dial the last 4 numbers.
Yes. I think we grew up in a similar location.
And then if I wanted to call in town, I had to dial 7 numbers. But
Yep.
if I wanted to call Amarillo, even if I wanted to call Amarillo, I only had to dial 7 numbers. So.
Did you also have a party line? So were others on the line with you?
We did have a party line, but not for very long because then they got the 4 numbers. So yeah.
Okay.
I want y'all to know I'm only 43.
We had a party line where I grew up, with my neighbors, and I mean, they could just get on at any time and listen to what you were talking about, and if they wanted, they just clicked. They just kept clicking it until you got off. So
we had the dial-up internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's actually another favorite memory of my parents is that they understood the importance of needing technology and everything. And so we had a computer when I was like 12. And that was a big thing, but my parents understood the importance of that. And so now even my dad, because, a lot of our older generation, if you're watching, I'm sorry, I'm just making a broad statement. A lot of people don't always have all that access or want to learn. Right. And so my parents were like, nope, you're going to go to summer camp where you're going to learn to type. I did that one year. I went to summer camp and I learned to type. And I was so upset because I really wanted to do the zoo camp. It was 105 that summer. I was okay. I was okay going to air conditioning on a college campus. I was like, thank you guys for teaching me how to type. Y'all are all doodling awesome. I'm just talking about your ear off. I'm so sorry.
You're good. You're good.
This is about you. We want to learn all about you. So.
Oh, and I have to share about the lifeguarding because that was one thing too.
Yeah.
So the reason I became a lifeguard is because my Girl Scout troop, we travel. And it's really important. And now I don't have the certification yet to like go to lakes and stuff. That's the next, I like certifications. That's the next one we get. But it's really important. Like even if you're swimming in a hotel pool, You really need to have, for safety wise, a lifeguard on campus, on site. And so I was like, you know what? We're starting to travel more now that COVID's over. I'm gonna get my lifeguard certification. So I go in, and one of the first things we do, I'm in a class of like 6, and I'm definitely the oldest, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. And so one of the first things we do is an icebreaker, and we have to put ourselves in order of oldest to youngest. And I was like, well, I'm just going to stand over here because I don't have to play this game. So I'm standing there like real nice, and this guy comes and stands next to me, and he goes, "They're just going to have to figure it out." I said, "How old are you?" He's like, "Well, I'm 21. Okay, yeah, you let those kids figure it out. Thank you so much for making me feel so old. And I love them. I tell lifeguard water aerobic stories all the times, and my friends are like, you really need to start. There needs to be like a new show that's not Baywatch, but like what happens at a pool. Because guys, the stories that I have from lifeguarding to patrons to water aerobics, like it's its own sitcom.
It is.
It's hilarious. I love it though. I love it so much. But yeah, so then I got my lifeguard certification for my Girl Scout troop. And I don't know if y'all know, the last couple of years, a lot of places have been hurting for lifeguards. And so the person that trained us said, "Hey, we really need lifeguards. Do you want a lifeguard?" I was like, why not? So that's our lifeguard. And she's like, "Hey," she goes, "I really want to start a swim lesson program. Would you be interested?" I was like, "Sure, why not?" So now I teach swim lessons too. I'm also have certification. She goes, "Hey," she goes, "I think you'd be a really great water aerobics instructor." I said, "Okay." And so now I lifeguard, teach swim lessons, and teach water aerobics. And all the stories. It's fun. It's good.
I love it.
So if you're ever in Texas, come on down Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Come hang out with me. We have for Halloween, I did a haunted house theme. So when we were doing our leg exercise, and we were kicking the zombies, and we're doing our arm exercise, we're going to punch those ghosts. And so Tuesdays we have Thanksgiving themed.
Nice. You're gonna roast the turkeys.
We're going to go on a little turkey trot. We're going to bypass people because we don't want to talk to these family members. So I'm very excited.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun.
You know, they laugh, they make fun of me, and they laugh, but those are extra calories they're burning, and it brings me joy, so that's okay.
So I had to, at one point in time, I had to be in a water aerobics class because I actually have really awful knees, and for physical therapy, they sent me to water aerobics. Mm-hmm. And the only class that was available was the older, and this was a while ago before I was considered closer to older adult. So it was the older adult group. So it was me and people in their 70s and 80s. And let me tell you what, those people could run circles around me in a pool. Like, it was like
people do not understand, like, water aerobics is it's a workout.
Oh my gosh. And the cute little old ladies, and they'd be like, "Oh honey, you can do it." I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
I saw them afterwards. I'm like, if I ever meet somebody in a dark alley, I'm going to have you guys behind me because I see how you're punching those zombies.
Yes.
That's funny. I want to find a way to put water aerobics on my drawing, but I cannot for the life of me figure out how to do it. And it'll come to me.
So, you know, it's funny because I need a water aerobics shirt. I was like, so I'm going to Etsy. I'm like, where's it? No, there's no water aerobics shirt. So my shirt now says I sweat chlorine.
Oh, I love it. There we go.
Thank you, Etsy.
Yes.
But there's, speaking of Etsy and making things, the tarot card shirts were really popular this year. Have you seen those tarot card shirts, like with the skeletons?
Yes, so Mandi made one for us because I saw yours, and then she did one of a skeleton with a pencil called the Doodler.
Yes, that's perfect. So I bought the reader. I was like, well, now I need one that says librarian. So I had somebody make me that one. I was like, well, now I need one that's for water aerobics. I have the swimmer.
I love it. So I used an AI tool. And so I just said skeleton with pencil and had it create that design, like had it create the skeleton for me. And then I put it together and made the tarot card myself. But
my mind is now blown.
Yeah.
All my gosh. This is bad. This is why I don't want a Cricut too. My mother-in-law was like, I want to get you a Cricut. I said, but I don't want one. She's like, but you'd use it. I said, I know. That's why I do not want one.
So I have a silhouette, and I think I'm on my third silhouette because I've had it for quite some time. And so my mom got me a heat press one year, so I love to make shirts. My new thing is I love to make screen printed shirts.
Yes.
I started screen printing too, and that's one of the things I really enjoy doing. I just love making shirts.
Well, and that's why I told my mother-in-law, it's like, if you get me the Cricut, we're going to get a heat press. I'm like, because if I want to do it, I want to make sure I have the materials, because I want to be like, well, I want this. Like, nope, I know I want to make t-shirts. Oh, but
I love it.
It blew my mind. Like, oh my goodness. Not good. Not okay.
No, but those AI generated images, like, it gave me the skeleton and I loved it. It was super
cute.
fun. Yeah.
My goodness. So love that.
Well, now almost everything has AI, Canva, Adobe. So
yeah,
it's just a matter of learning how to use it.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about it so badly, though. As an artist, like
well, even a lot of the authors right now are also having. So I'll be real honest. I am one of those ones that I love trying every new technology. I have not jumped into AI because it does make me so nervous. Like, I use it in Canva, right? But like beyond that, like I just haven't figured out, but well, now I want to do it for that though. But I just haven't figured out how I want to jump in, because there is so many, because even though it's AI, like, it's generating from somewhere.
Yes.
You know, it has to have that background knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope that, like, when you're using a big source like Canva, that they're AIing from their sources, you hope, right? And then those people have given their things, with intention. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's a slippery slope,
Mm-hmm.
It is true.
And a whole, like, it's also one of those things where I'm like, I know it's there. I know I need to use it someday. Maybe I don't, though. I also wonder a little bit. I do. There's a little part of me as a person and as a teacher that just wonders if it's one of those things that's going to fly in, be big. Everybody speaks on it. Everybody's an expert, and then it'll fade away, and it'll be there just as a tool,
just like everything else is.
Yeah, and then it's just something that it'll just be one more thing that eventually I might have to teach my kids how to use. And I actually think for some of my students with some of their learning deficits that it might be a great superpower. I just need to give it time to settle in before I decide that that's the thing that I want to show them how to use,
Right. And so as a librarian, I really so we actually had this conversation this last week. I'm about to talk to students even more about plagiarism and copyright and making sure to cite your sources. And we have so many great tools that will cite your sources now, right? But it's funny, I was talking to one of my friends and hopefully they don't watch this, but if you do, I'm sorry, because I'm so amazed by this story. So they said, well, they were back in high school, so it's like 3 or 4 years ago, before AI. And I said, well, we plagiarize all the time. They said, but this is how I did it. So they would find an article or story that would go with what they needed. Like, they'd find the resource. They would put it into a different language, put it into a different language, put it into a different language, then go back to English and fix the grammar. I said, I can't be mad at you. Way to use your sources.
Yep.
I said, and thanks for AI. I was like, oh my, I was like, that's so smart. Like, wow. But also, our kids don't always know that way because they had struggles, right? And so that was how they coped and how they passed and how they went on. So, so you're right, it's such a slippery slope. And how are we still encouraging our students to, and I think too, a lot of our students don't realize how creative they are and what they actually have in their head to put down. And also, let's be real, it's all about how do we assess these kids anyway? I mean, that's a whole different topic. Like,
if somebody has to plagiarize, are we really doing the right assignment for that kid? Yeah, it's absolutely a slippery slope. And it's also, it just gets into the whole, like, are we reducing free thinking? Are we reducing, like, it's just, I don't know. We could go on and on. And I'm sure
Yeah.
people that are way smarter than me are having these conversations. So this is no new light on things. But
Right,
I just, whenever these new fads come in, I tend to just sit and watch. And people can wrestle to who wants to be the expert of it all. And then
Right.
I'll learn about when I need to learn about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Although the things I have seen too, well, mind blown about the AI for shirts, but also like people are like putting their menus in. Hey, I want to have this many calories. I'm like, huh, so I'll make the menus.
Wait, you can do that?
Yes.
Okay, now I might like AI.
It's like that.
So,
I'm like, so there's pros and cons. And they're like, well, do I do this? Is it okay here? But okay here? Like,
oh yeah, that's true.
So for me, I have a lot of food allergies, and I can say, here are my food allergies. Here's my calories, and it will make a meal plan for you.
So do you just use like the AI that pops up on Google?
So I haven't tried it with Bard, to be honest with you. I haven't tried it with Bard. I've tried it with Chat GPT, and it does okay with it. There is a specific website though that gave me the original idea, and I would have to find it because I tried it. So I popped up on TikTok and I saw it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
And I went to that site and I used it. And then I was like, well, does Chat GPT do this? And it did. I mean, it wasn't as good as this other website was, but it did do it for me. It would be
Okay.
interesting. I would like to try it on Bard. I haven't done that yet.
But see now, like, and maybe this is my key to like to dip my toe into it, because that kind of thing would save the students that struggle with executive functioning and things like that. So like, let's not think of a to-do list. Let's have AI. What's my to-do list to study for this thing? You know what I'm saying?
That is an awesome idea. And because then they're still having, like, you just gave them the big question. Like, they still have to figure out, well, what's my question?
Right.
Which is a big thing too, even for research. What's my question, right? So that's a great idea.
I might have to look into that. Look at us. Look at us go.
Well, the other part of using AI is exactly what you just said. You have to, it's like doing a regular Google search.
It's hard to do it right.
We teach people the correct way to get the best search in a search engine or whatever. I teach doctoral students. We talk about the best way to search through our databases. And so it's the same way with AI. If you want it to do this, what's the best way to get there? And that's what a lot of people teach on. So when they present about it, it is all the cool things that you can do because there's all that stuff. My principal is just trying to learn about it. And so he has generated some agendas and stuff through AI.
Oh, that's clever too.
Just to see what it would do. You know, here's what I'm wanting to do. You know, what's the agenda? And he put some specific parameters in there because he likes things organized a certain way. But he was just interested if students in our school are using this, what can I do with it?
I like that. What a smart guy he is.
So yeah, awesome. I think there's a lot of good that we can do with AI.
100%.
Aid for a lot of people who maybe couldn't access things before. And even with my doctoral students, because we now have to run everything through not only turn it in for plagiarism, but also for AI generation.
Oh.
And I talk to them, I'm like, if you are stuck, if you don't know what else to research for this particular topic, type it into AI and ask them, what are some topics? It will even, if you even say with sources cited, it will give you articles to go read.
Wow.
So
see, but much like you said too, it's one of those pieces of technology that is coming through. We're trying to figure out how to do it. And hopefully it will just be another tool in our tool belt. But that hopefully too because I do worry about the artists and the playwrights and the authors. Like I do worry about that sense.
Absolutely.
But you know, just like anything, there's trends that go through TikTok that are like whenever they're terrible. Like people always find the bad. Like people will always find the algorithm that suits them that is nefarious.
Yeah. True.
If they're into that. That is not my algorithm, but
I agree.
So many good ideas for AI though. Now I'm going to go play with it. I have time during Thanksgiving break. I want to put that on my to-do list.
There you go. Oh my gosh, I think we've only done 2 questions.
Sorry.
No, that's totally okay.
2 questions, but so much great stuff.
Yeah, so fun. I made the questions a little bit, they were slightly obnoxious.
They're long, they're like lots of pieces.
Yeah, I was trying to pull out all the creativity stuff for you. So Anne mentions this in the comments, and this is fascinating to me. She said, I read an article from a pro AI advocate that said the same arguments against AI were used when typewriters were about to become popular. That's fascinating.
I believe it. And oh my gosh, I just now saw the comment. Sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you, Anne. I was on the private chat. Sorry about that.
You're all good.
It is true. I said the same thing about like when technology started becoming a thing, like computers and all of that, because this used to be part of one of the presentations I used to give.
Mm-hmm.
And people would be like, well, technology is going to ruin everything because people aren't going to know how to write anymore.
Oh, you're right. They did. Yeah, you're right. They did write that.
They still can. People can still write. They just do it better. Like now that we have spell check, and that's okay because not everybody can spell.
Right.
It's okay. Like it's good. They're good things. So.
Well, and isn't that one of the things that they've always said for a long time, that in the countries where academic students excel, there's things that they never learn that American kids do because of how we teach, you know? So yeah, I guess it all has its pluses and its minuses, right?
It does.
Yeah. All right. So Andrea, we hear that you have been involved you're a busy person, and it's not just in your current life. So out of the 12 clubs that you were a part of in high school, what were your favorite 3 and why?
Oh my goodness. TAFE, which is the Texas Association for Future Educators. It's like, of course, so TAFE. Loved like knowing that was going to be my career and what I did. And having those connections and having that organization. I was also the editor of our school newspaper. So that was one of my favorite things that I did. And just so y'all know, I love to write. I absolutely love writing. I blog. I've been blogging for years. I am not the best writer. My grammar is not that great. A lot of my writing is more conversation. So how I became the editor, I'm not quite for sure, but I was. And I had my teacher make sure to look over all the grammar. But I loved being in charge. And also I think that's where a lot of my creativity like started on papers. You know, when we did the newspaper, you had to print it out, make sure it's all the pixels, and put it on the big white light board and make sure it all fit. And so before it could be sent to the printer. So I loved piecing things together and learning how fonts look with different things. And I think I learned a ton from newspaper. Like I think that has then carried on to what I do now and what I create now. When the third one, I mean, there's 12. I don't remember all of them. I'm such a busybody. I don't remember why I was even in 12, but I was like, oh, there's a club. Let me sign up. Oh, there's a little club. I did sign up for, I think the third one was student council that I signed up for. And I loved it because I like being around people. And I like organizations that do things for the community. So I am a Destination Imagination team manager for 2 teams. And I have 2 Girl Scout troops, and I work 5 jobs. And so my principal came to me, and I had thought about student council for our school because there wasn't one. And my principal came to this year. She goes, I want you to start student council because kids like you. And I was like,
aww,
I don't have time. And I said, I don't know if I can do it. Anyway, so I'm a student council representative now. I'm I'm now in charge of student council with my friend Marla Rhodes. So hopefully my student council that I had back in the 98s will help me with but yeah, I think too, I was just that overachiever, and I was like, well, I need all these things on my resume. You don't, friends. You don't need all those things. But I think that's where I start with all my certifications. What can I do next? What else can I add?
My gosh, that's so funny.
I love learning. I said, so when she said lifeguard, like it was another certification, somebody said, you really like certifications, don't you? And I was like, I never really thought about that, but I love just always learning and trying something new, because I think, and as teachers, we always need to be learning, even if it's not about school, like just to fill our own cup, Am I exhausted on Tuesdays and Thursdays teaching water aerobics till 9 because it's a 14-hour day? Absolutely. But it is so much fun. So I'm always watching videos and getting ideas. So always learning. Always learning.
I love it. There's a lot of love in your life, and I really appreciate that, Andrea.
It's hard sometimes. Just so know, like, it's like I cried yesterday, friends, because somebody yelled at me, and I was pretty upset. I had a lot of kids were on my side, which was kind of nice. But like life can absolutely suck. It can be tough, and it's okay to be sad. Like, I mean, I want to have kids. I can have kids. Let's find something else that can bring me that same type of joy, right? Like, I still get sad. Like, I absolutely love my husband, 1000%. He is bipolar. Do you know how hard it is to live with a bipolar person in your household? So that's a whole different learning as well. Like, I love him. Absolutely. My mother-in-law lives with me. I love her as well, but it's also an extra person that lives in your house. So people are like, well, you're always so happy. Well, that's because I choose to find joy, because life can still suck and I can still be sad and you can still be sad, but you just have to figure it out and keep going, find that joy.
Agreed. I have a kiddo who really struggles with the anger management. And he's like, you think the world is rainbows and puppies, don't you? And I go, oh, honey, no, I don't. But I mean, I get what he says, though, because like there is something you have, like, we're going to have struggles in the classroom. Either they're going to suck the life out of us or we move on forward. And I'm with you. Like, life isn't always great. And there are really hard things. And I think sometimes my own children get upset because I'm such an optimist. And I'm like, you guys, if it lets you weigh it down, it'll suck the life out of you. So you either let it be, solve it, or move forward. And you just do your best, And I can't say that that's always the perfect approach. I mean, you carry around a lot of baggage when you handle things with that approach. But I like the optimist that I am, And I think it brings out things in people in different ways. So
Exactly. Yeah. And because life is tough. Like, I'm not saying, like, that's what the kids are like. Kids are like, oh, well, you don't understand. I'm like, well, actually I do. Like, because I provide a lot of snacks for my students, and right now we're single income right now. So that's one reason I have 5 jobs. I don't know what this dog is next door is like being real friendly. Anyway, so the kids are like, they're really upset with me because I haven't bought snacks lately. I said, friends, I absolutely love providing for you guys, and I will when I can. I said, but I work 5 jobs. Like I understand that your family is also struggling, but like adults struggle too, Like, oh, I'm like they forget that just because I have a job doesn't like I'm good, right? But it's having those conversations and then they see too how powerful it is to be kind. Like yesterday when I got yelled at, I had kids come up to me afterwards and said, I'm really sorry. Like, you didn't deserve that. Like, I mean, so they see that's important to be kind, because they realize that they see that. And so, and hopefully as they see it more and more, then they'll also turn around and be those people as well. Because we need kind people. We need, because there are so many great people in the world, but we need even more because life is rough.
Agreed. I agree. You need empathetic, kind people. Yeah.
Oh, I agree, Anne. 1000%. I don't know what we're getting 2 cats today. I don't know what this is.
You're getting 2 cats?
We are.
Andrea.
I know. That's a whole nother story. That's another Doodle and Chat.
Now I have to fit cats on here because I love cats.
We have a dog, and we've had a small mouse problem, and so we're hoping that a couple of cats will help. But I'm getting them more for this to help with mice, just so you know. It was not just a overnight thought process. Let's get cats. Like, this has been a month in the planning. But we get them today. I'm very excited. They're so cute. in between Doodle and Chat, Girl Scouts, then I want to get cats, and then I have to go to work tonight because I have to do in-service. Because to be a lifeguard, friends, in the state of Texas, you have to do in-service, at least an hour of in-service every week.
Yeah, you can't let people die in the water.
Yeah, right. Although, well, that's a whole different conversation. Yes. Just kidding. So yes, I have in-service. So, but what's crazy is I get paid for my in-service. So
that's nice.
I'm like, I'll go play in the pool for an hour and a half, and then I'll come back home and play with kitties.
That's an angry kitty. Oops.
I hope mine are not angry. They will not fit in.
No, yeah, they won't. Just adding a couple mice to my drawing.
And you're talking about these lays getting you through through COVID. My other favorite app that I use is called Marco Polo. I don't know if y'all have used that.
I haven't used that in forever. That's a good one.
That is the app that got me through COVID, and Marco Polo and Glide. And I get to talk every day to my friend Elaine in Glide. And in Marco Polo, I've got 2 different Marco Polos. I talk to 2 different groups of people every day. And that's what got us through COVID, was having that connection. Because I hate talking on the phone. Talk face to face, I can talk your ear off. Do not ever call me.
I'm the same way. I really despise the phone. The only person that I will talk on the phone with is my children, my husband, Mandi, and maybe another close friend and my sister. But please just don't call me.
It's the ear. I don't like how it feels in my ear. Like I can't see the facial expression. I just, yeah. And I special education teacher. When I first started my special education program, I asked my mom, I said, did y'all ever get me tested for anything? They're like, no, we see you're special. Okay. But okay, so I have to tell you this though, because I kind of goes along with special education. Totally off topic. Well, not really. It's all been off topic. Anyway, so when I went through school, one of the classes I had to take was to hang out with a student outside of school, because
a buddy program, yeah.
Yeah. So because and when you're going to high school, like when you're going to college, you don't see what families go through outside of school. That you only know the kid in school, which is totally different. Can totally be a different kid. So I started hanging out with Kylie Heiner, who had autism, and we would go to the museum. I took her and her sister, and we'd go to the museum, and we'd go on dates, and we just have so much fun. And my favorite time, we went to the museum, through the whole museum. She goes, I want this one and this one and this one. I said, Kylie, you cannot touch the walls. She goes, but I want this one and this one and this one. I was like, Kylie, you cannot touch the walls. We got upstairs, and she goes, and Vanna, I would like to buy a vowel. I was like, did you watch Wheel of Fortune today? Anyway, so I graduated college. I moved away, and whenever I go back home, I would, before I even call my parents, I would call Kylie. Kylie, what plans are we making? So I'd always have plans with Kylie. So Kylie and we would always go out. Before I even saw my parents, I'd go out with Kylie. So Kylie ended up passing away 5 years ago. And I think she was 23, 24. Loved her. Like the whole town loved this girl. Because she knew your name. She would ask your name. Like she was amazing. Like I want to be like Kylie. She would make sure you knew their names and remember everything. So they started raising money to build a memorial playground. So now this last weekend, I got to go to the grand opening, the ribbon cutting of the Kylie Heiner Memorial Playground, which is an adaptive playground. It was so amazing because even when I go back into town, I still go see Kylie. I go see her at her grave, and we chat because we always make plans. And I always go see her parents. So it was so nice to see her. And so her sister now has a little one. And so he got to play on the playground. So we're at this grand opening, and all these kids are playing on the playground. It was amazing. It was amazing. But because special education, and we had to see people for who they are outside of school, I got to meet that family and remind myself too that how important it is to to know that everybody has a story, you know? So,
Yeah.
anyway, so if you're in Canyon, Texas, there's a great adaptive playground. It's pretty awesome.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for today.
Yes. Yes, so much.
You are just a light, Andrea. Seriously.
Oh, thank y'all so much for having me on today. And let me just talk about random things. This is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Like y'all's deals are great. Mine's this.
Can we zoom in? Are we allowed to see?
It can. It's like I said, it's list and like just AI.
I love it.
That's my new thing. So
that is perfect.
So because I was talking too much rather than doodling.
So the talking part about yourself might be something that we intentionally plan into the Doodle and Chat, you know.
Good. Because I'm like, I feel like I failed. I'm sorry.
No, we want to make you shine, and you got to, and it was so fun to hear about you as a person as much as it was for you to shine a light on just the little things that you do every day for education. But what a wonderful conversation, and what an amazing person you are.
Y'all so much. This filled my bucket today. I loved it so much. Thank you so much.
Good.
You're welcome.
Yes.
So friends that were with us today and doodled and chatted along with us as we spoke with Andrea, please share out your doodle and chat using hashtag doodle and chat so we can share with all the fun that we have here every Saturday morning at 9:33ish Central Standard Time. And then Mandi, I'm trying to remember what is next week.
I don't remember. I think it is Zentangles. I think it is Zentangles next week. Yes.
I think it is. Let me just, people are used to waiting at the end. So hold on.
They are. So for us to get our life together for just a second.
All right. So next week's the 8th. It doesn't say what it is. Okay, then.
It's Zentangles.
I think it's on the 18th. And then I think Yuqua, right, is joining us at the end of the month for a Doodle and Chat Learns. So it should be some STEM-inspired Doodle and Chat Learns. So that will be fun as well. No, all kinds of fun things happening here.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Andrea, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And all of the rest of our Doodle and Chat friends, we'll see you next Saturday at 9:33 Central Standard Time. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Oh, wrong computer. Stop it on the wrong computer.